You're watching the #1 station for news and information in Southern California. Channel 7 KABC TV, Los Angeles.
As a week of pretrial motions ended today in the case of the 4 Los Angeles policemen already indicted in the Rodney King beating, the county grand jury signaled that will be the extent of the criminal case. 17 other so-called police bystanders at the beating scene will not be indicted.
Here's ABC's Judy Muller.
It was never even close. On the very first day of deliberations, a straw vote made it clear that a majority of the jurors favored acquittal.
I'm here outside Parker Center where protesters have descended on the place. All of a sudden I flipped the channel and here's the not guilty, not guilty. I started crying.
A building is on fire. Fire units are on the scene. A lot of people on the street. Let's take a look. Commercial buildings right near the corner of Santa Monica and Western here in Hollywood.
And not too very far from KTLA, I might add.
It's could be a half mile, could it, Larry?
That's right.
Right down. In fact, you can look out of the window and see that big black plume. Now, there's a large number. There are many people on the street there. Looting at this location.
You say there is looting, Stan?
Looting that's going on at the Thrifty drugstore there, and I just thought you ought to get a real close-up look at how that is. People rushing in and out of the store, completely This is at Vermont and 3rd. Yeah. Not very far from our studios here, but look at this crowd.
I heard it described earlier today as kind of a carnival atmosphere. I see some of these people are smiling. It's really a bizarre thing to look at.
Harold, back to you.
Well, now I think I've seen everything. Is that a yellow cab bringing somebody in to go in and loot a store? I can't believe my eyes. I'm not sure.
In South Central LA and other parts of the city, including Hollywood. The LA County coroner reports at least 17 riot-related deaths since yesterday. Police say there are at least 14.
The latest updated numbers on the terrible toll the riots have taken. 51 people have been killed during the civil unrest, more than 2,300 people hurt, 226 of those critical injuries. The number of fires in and around LA, the latest count, 6,217. Also mind-boggling, almost 11,000 people arrested.
Channel 4 News, Bites on. #1 in Southern California.
March 16th, 1991. Latasha Harlins, a black teenager, is shot and killed by a Korean store owner, Sunja-do. Du is convicted of voluntary manslaughter, but is sentenced only to parole and a small fine. The black community is outraged.
You know how it all started? The first thing when a girl got killed from the Oriental.
What, 6 months probation? Yes. I mean, the people were pissed then.
Many Koreans who yesterday were the shopkeepers of South Central Los Angeles today have lost the businesses they took years to create.
What can I say? I don't have any word to say.
George Huang woke this morning to find his mini mall burnt to the ground. A loss of $1.5 million and a lifetime of dreams and effort. 41 Korean businesses in South Central have been torched, dozens looted.
Why are we the victims? My friends are good Christians. We've been through so much, and to go through this. Everything, 42 years down the drain.
In this overwhelmingly black and Hispanic area, Koreans own many of the small businesses. They're insular, they employ their own, they keep to themselves. Blacks say that's the problem.
I'm not surprised that the Koreans got targeted because their prices are high, their attitude is wrong, and they just don't seem to have any respect for the black community.
With the presence of the troops and the law enforcement officers, we have adequate resources to handle any situation.
After the destruction, many Koreans have lost all faith that the authorities can protect them.
Well, we hope police can protect, but as you see, this shortage of manpower, police.
Today, local Korean radio is broadcasting which stores in the area are threatened. Young men like Eddie Kim rush over to try to defend them.
I don't care about the racism, I don't care anything, but it's not right, okay? It's not right to break inside and get any stuff, you know? It's not right. I don't think it's right.
Hee Lee spent last night and will spend tonight guarding his appliance store. A small battalion of employees and relatives will try to help.
I only have one shotgun. That's all I have. What do they have? They have hundreds of crazy people, hundreds of crazy young people with lots of guns.
People who are African American are coming through this neighborhood. The roadblocks have basically been not taken down, they've moved. Does that make you nervous when you see people driving by who are of another color?
Yeah, right now, there are a lot of, if you look out there, a lot of Hispanic and black people out there, and they're just roaming around, packed in their cars, roaming out, trying to loot something or pillage something or find some violence to create.
Well, it looks on the roof, it looks to us that the man on the roof has some kind of automatic weapon, but
they do not look like automatic, like AK-47s. They seem to be regular rifles that they're using.
But it seems like every man on that roof was armed.
Yeah, that's right. And thus far, there does not seem to be any looting or burning, at least right where they are.
There are a lot of armed people over there.
We certainly have all the ingredients for confrontation.
Moments later, the Korean merchants and store owners who own that shopping complex, they were talking to me for a moment. They said they were fed up. They walked away. Next thing I knew, they walked out of their stores. 3 of them were holding guns, and they just started firing at everybody and anybody. We go live? We were showing some of this to you live earlier. Then what happened, apparently a car full of some young black kids pulled up on the other side, and they started shooting back. You're going to start to see what they noticed what was going on. They started shooting back, and we were right in the middle of it. It all happened so quickly. To tell you the truth, I thought they were blanks at first. I couldn't believe that these guys had actually pulled out loaded guns, but they were. There were bullets flying all over. And here you can see, this is where they see the cars pull up and they start to shoot back. And they start to take cover, realizing, I think, what they had started there, but there's just a simmering point, and they boiled over.
Channel 7 News, okay, they only shot the Koreans firing at people, but there were cars going by firing at them, and they couldn't get their picture. They said Koreans are firing at everybody. Who's going to protect their property? Police, National Guard? They were not even there when we called. They didn't even care if their stores was on fire. They didn't even care they're firing at 7 times, 6 times.
Trying to calm the anger, 24 members of the Young Knock Presbyterian Church are merchants whose shops were looted and either partially or totally destroyed.
Right now they have anger in their hearts, and also they believe that they are one of the major victims of this riot.
And the Reverend Jesse Jackson joined Korean community leaders, preaching a message of reunion.
A house divided against itself cannot stand, and we who live here, red, yellow, brown, black, and white, are all people who yearn for equal protection under the law and mutual respect.
Price of peace remains continued military occupation. Outside a market, troops joined hands with a church choir.
At this time, we all have to have a sense of repentance and come together for the better community to build together.
Korean Americans were outraged at the verdict of the Rodney King case. We stand together with all those who want justice in the King case. We call on the Justice Department to prosecute those involved in the beating. We must stop police abuse wherever it occurs. At the same time, Korean Americans have been hit hard by the violence following the King decision. Until last night, we had felt abandoned. This morning, we report a grim statistic that more than 860 Korean-owned businesses have been looted, burned, and destroyed, and a damage estimate of more than $200 million. A security guard has been shot in Koreatown, and at least 46 Korean Americans have been injured. Through the heaviest period, when they were most needed, the National Guard and police were not here. They moved in last night after most of the damage had been done, and the police had hardly any presence. We need police protection now, but we need it more then. Because law enforcement did not respond to our needs, many Koreans had to defend themselves. In fact, people calling 911 for emergencies were told that no officers were available and that they should defend themselves. This was a very grave and undesirable situation, but we had no alternative. Some Koreans defended their lives and property in the face of intense violent attacks. Those who did not defend themselves were attacked and their properties were destroyed. But today we are here to announce our effort to begin the task of cleaning up. Beginning today, we will clean up our streets and ravaged buildings. We call on everyone to join us in this rebuilding effort so that we can restore order to our city. While we will do our part, we call on our city, state, and federal officials to do their part by continuing to provide police protection and the resources needed to build our community. Let's end the violence. We need peace. We need order. And we demand justice now. Thank you.
The small window of there's so many small windows of opportunity all over the place. I mean, public policy debate, but relative to the Korean community, is that young people have to come back into the community. What we have in Koreatown is a complete breakdown in leadership. Koreatown is an insulated community. The majority of these people cannot speak English and do have, racist, colonialist mentalities. And the closest analogy that I can think of is us as children. Okay, these are my parents that make the decisions in the community. I have to, at some point, say, this is wrong. This is not the attitudes that we can keep if we want to live in this country. And you have to break that umbilical cord. That's what this means. Korean Americans have to seize the opportunity to impact the community politics. I know that the hesitation and the difficulties, because I know a lot of you probably don't speak Korean, myself included, and it's very intimidating because there are no avenues for you to go. You want to go into Koreatown, I want to help. What do I do?